original gang.
Oh, it is live. It's live on YouTube. Boom. Oh, my mic is on. Let me cut my mic off.
Turn your mic off.
This is not what Dr. Irvin Fryer sounds like.
But that's why we're gonna cut it up today. What's up, everybody? We got it right. Welcome to the Friar Place. I'm Irvin Fryer, the host here at the Friar Place, where the conversations are fire. As you can see, I'm not in my studio. No, it's hot where I am, but it's not. I'm not in my studio. I'm actually in Cancun, Mexico, staying in the Hyatt Solara Hotel, as you can see, on the beach. Yeah, on the beach. Yeah, they're doing a little bit of construction. As you can hear them cutting up some bricks and stuff down there. But we're going to do the show from here. I have my little brother, Keith Pelzer. Keith, come on in. Keith
Oh,
is in the
wait.
studio making all this happen. What'd you do?
Wait.
Keith back there falling down.
I'm trying to find out. Wait, you still live?
I'm live. There
Oh,
he is.
wait, I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. Is this the right button here? There it is. Oh, I got the right button there. What's what's going on, bro? I'm trying to make it work over here. You know what I'm saying?
You making it happen. Technology is crazy. I'm on my phone, everybody. I'm in Mexico. Keith is in Philadelphia on his computer, and we're doing all of this through Ecamm. Good googa mooga, man. I'm telling you, this looks good. It sounds good. Is my mouth, my mouth is moving, is it in time with what you're hearing? Is it in
I
sync with what you're hearing?
I guess so. I mean, I'm not monitoring off of another device, so I don't know. I am not sure.
There,
You know?
there's no delay. Listen, I got a text message this morning. I want to say this real quick. I got a text message this morning, and this is gonna set you off. I got a text message this morning that one of my best friends, his daughter's fiance, died last night,
Oh,
and we just saw him a couple of weeks ago. Hello, Sister Davis. God bless you. Yep, pastor's in Cancun. Pastor and First Lady. Hello, Rashida. God bless you too. Thanks for joining in. But I got a text message that her fiance died, and we just saw him a few weeks ago at a wedding. Her sister got married. His other daughter got married. He died from COVID. But this is what I want to say. He didn't know that he had underlying issues. He had uh, some underlying health issues. He didn't know he was a diabetic, and he passed away. Once COVID hit him, he passed away like within 3 days. It
wow.
only took a couple of days. Yeah, and he was, healthy, dancing just a few weeks ago. He didn't get vaccine, and the other thing was apparently he didn't go get his health checked because he didn't know he was a diabetic. So that's I want to say to everybody who's watching, listen, you got to take care of yourself.
Yes.
This COVID-19 is no joke, and people keep saying, particularly the younger people keep saying, I don't want to get the vaccine. I think it's a hoax. I think they're trying to track us. I don't want to do it because it's not, they haven't done enough research. All these different reasons why you don't want to get the vaccine, but how many people have to die? I
Right.
mean, how many people have to die before we realize this is serious, that COVID-19 is real, and the vaccine, it may not keep you from catching it or contracting it, but it will keep you from dying. It will stop it from killing you.
Right.
So we got to be smarter, man. We got to be smarter. We just got to be smarter.
I
So
totally
what's
I
up with you
totally
today?
agree.
I'm finished. I'm,
So I got so I'm actually doing
uh-oh.
Ecamm. What you checking stuff out? You still there, right? You didn't drop out.
Yeah, I'm still here. No, I didn't
Okay.
drop out. I want to get out of this. I hit the wrong screen. I'm sorry.
Ladies and
There it
gentlemen,
is.
Urban Friar is not at his computer right now. He's on his iPhone. And he's trying to and see now you done muted yourself. So when this happens, you just sign out and log right back in. If you can't figure out what you did, and make sure all the other apps are closed. So there's double me because he logged out. He's going to log back in. The crazy thing is, I'm actually up on my other computer, ladies and gentlemen. I am on. So Irvin, on my channel
Now
right
I know
now,
my.
I got your show on my channel.
Oh, I'm on your channel.
Yeah, I got your show on my channel too, because I put it in the other computer just to see if I could double stream at the same time, and it's actually working. So whoever's
Well,
on
you're
the
the techie
convo
guy like
side,
that.
I can't actually see you. I'll respond to you on my phone, but the computer right over there is actually running to the Convo's YouTube page, and it's
That's
running the
nice.
Friar Show through it. So I'm testing it because remember I told you you can do this on your laptop. So when you get back home, I know you're gonna have your laptop can go to one page and your
Okay. Okay.
your Mac Mini can
So
go
I
to a
can
page. Yeah,
right. So I can do YouTube on my Mac Mini, and I can do Facebook Live at the same time on my laptop.
yeah, without doing restream. Okay, restream is better,
Right. Right. Right.
but it's possible. So I was just checking it to see if I could pipe Ecamm through to another
Uh
computer
huh.
and have it go. It's
Right.
kind of dope, man.
Right.
I'm feeling it. I just knocked my
It's
headphones
pretty
out so
good.
I can't hear
I mean,
nothing for a second. Let me put it back in.
y'all, listen, y'all. This is what Keith and I do. We just, we get on and we talk about stuff. We try to be creative. We have fun. That's my little brother. I don't know if you saw him yesterday on Facebook. He was in the church playing the piano and singing like an old man, hooping like an old preacher, and just having a having a good time. He is hilarious. That's my brother right there. So that's why I wanted to have him on today. I actually wanted him to be the host, and I would come in as the guest, but he switched it up, and now he made me the host, and he's the guest. But we're just going to chop it up a little bit today, talk a little bit about where I am and what's going on. I got a surprise for you for the next show because there is a mission that I'm on. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a hint. The last time we came here, which was 2 years ago, we were coming every year, but COVID stopped that last year. Last year, or the last 2 years ago when we came here, we went out on this boat trip. My wife tricked me. So I'm thinking we're going out on this boat trip. We're going to drive these two-man boats. It's she and I in a boat, and there's 5 other boats following us, and we have a guide leading us. So we go out, and we're going fast, and it's really nice, and we're having a good time. And then we pulled out into this open area, and the guide made us all come together, and he tied all the ropes together. Then he started handing out life jackets and snorkels. So I'm like, we're going snorkeling? I've never been snorkeling before. And make a long story short, jumped in the water, put that mask on my face, and I tried. I did. I couldn't make myself breathe with that snorkel sticking out of the water. I couldn't breathe through my mouth. I just couldn't do it. So when the guide said to me, sir, you coming with the rest of us? Because they were swimming around and going way down into the looking at the fish and looking at the coral and all that kind of stuff in this big, large area. I stayed and treaded water in the same area. I told him, I'll be right here when you get back. And I treaded water in the same spot for 45 minutes until they went out and looked at all the area. They covered all the ground that they wanted to cover, and they came back. We got back in the boats and came back. So now this time while we're here, I have a full face snorkel mask. Yes, full. That way I can breathe through my nose and my mouth. And I'm going to make this happen this time. So you're going to see me preparing myself. I'm going to film the whole thing. You're going to see me preparing myself to go out and snorkel and then you're going to see us when we're out snorkeling. I'm going to have my GoPro with me. You'll actually be able to see the fish under the water. Hopefully it turns out really well, and it'll be a nice presentation. So that's one of my goals while I'm here. Hopefully it's going to work right. Hopefully that GoPro is waterproof like they say it is, Keith.
It is definitely waterproof. Oh, I put the wrong one. I'm sorry.
Wrong scene.
But it's okay. Good. It caught up. So yeah, it's definitely waterproof. So that's a great piece of it. I had put the 7 in the water, and thanks again to you for the GoPro 9. The GoPro 10
now,
is
what's
out.
the difference? What's the difference between the 7 and the 9?
So the 9 is 20 times better. I like the stabilization on there better. It jumps on quicker than the 7, but 7 is great. And then you don't have to put the case on the 9. So the 9, you don't have to put the case on it. You have the front screen on there, so I can like size my shots up better. I can see myself. It only cut off after like 2 minutes or something. I think you can set it and change it. So thank you again, bro. The battery lasts way longer. The battery lasts longer. You won't really notice too much different in the picture quality with the 7 to the 9. And the cool thing about GoPros is I still got the Cube GoPro, like the GoPro Hero 3 or 4. I mean, I use it every now and then. The picture on it is still great. Like, you won't see my stuff and say, oh, he shot it with the GoPro 9 unless it's like a stabilization thing. But overall, it's a 20 times better camera. But just for anybody, if somebody's getting rid of their 7 or an 8, grab it. If you don't want to spend a bunch of money, you're not missing out on a bunch. But if you're into gas like we are, gear acquisition syndrome like Irvin and I, then you're just going to go ahead and get the 10.
We got gas.
Yeah, we got gas. I mean,
syndrome.
Yeah, I don't need a 10. I'm cool with that 9. But
you got gas because when I gave you the GoPro, it was at your birthday party. And you know what he asked me, y'all? He said, why you take it out the box and charge it up?
Yeah.
So I can use it.
Yeah, it could be using it tonight.
I'm taking it out
you
the
understand
box.
what I'm saying?
You want to use it.
Yo, I'm liking this. It's dragging a little bit, but it's actually on my channel. I'm still looking at it on my channel.
Really?
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna end that other broadcast, but at least I know my Wi-Fi in the house is actually pushing both of them. So thank goodness for that. Yeah, that's great.
We had a good my show last week was a good show. I sat and told the story about the trial and everything that led to my conviction and all. There were a lot of people who participated, and I got a couple of phone calls. One was from the guy, not a phone call, but a text message. One was from the guy named Jerry Hostetter that I mentioned, who was a friend of mine and didn't testify. Well, he did testify, but he wouldn't cooperate at first with my lawyer and me. So I got a text message from him that was interesting. Mm-hmm. So dead bones, some of those dead bones, or some of the bones that I thought were dead, they're starting to come to life. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man. But that was a tough time. Who was that? Who was that on the?
You got Walter Ray.
Walter Ray, what's up, bro? Oh my gosh, long time no talk to, no see, no hear from. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us today. Walter Ray, he used to be a member of the church when we first started the church. Yeah.
All right, you got Walter Ray and you got brother-in-law. Bruh.
Oh, brother-in-law's here somewhere. He's in his room. He's here with me in Cancun. Brother-in-law, come to the room and I'll put you on the show.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or dial in, send them the link.
Now how am I going to do that?
No, you know what? Because you with these overlays, these nice overlays. Shout out to Alicio Way and the Irvin Friar collaboration and getting it how you designed it, how Irvin designs it and wants it. Vincent, what's going on? I am
Vincent Capriati. Good to see you, man. Thanks.
See, you said it right. You got that Italian, accent going
Capriati,
on.
I know. I know Vincent. Yeah. Mexico he said Mexico in the house. Yeah. Mexico in the house. Y'all look, it is beautiful out here.
You should be walking around with the phone, like showing some beautiful scenery. You got a good backdrop today. I mean, you should be using the natural sunlight, for lighting your background and atmosphere. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's hot. It's hot as hell here, man. I'm trying to stay cool on the show.
Oh my
You want me to walk
goodness.
around? I can go. I can
You
go
don't have
downstairs.
to. You don't have to because then the Wi-Fi might jack up a little bit because we know you're in
Well,
Cancun.
I was going to do it from downstairs. I really was, but I thought it would be too noisy with all the water and all. I'm up 8 floors, so I'm not close to where the water is, and they usually have music and stuff going on down there. So I thought that would be too much of a. I thought it would be too much of a distraction to be down at sea level.
Okay. So, hey, wait, hold up. I'm going to turn my YouTube off over here because I just did a test, so I want to stop that real quick. Hold on one second.
Okay. All right.
Let me hit the stop over here. Finish. Okay.
Is that going to speed up the Is that going to speed up the connection?
No, it's not really going to speed it up because the Wi-Fi was handling it. I didn't have that computer running Ethernet because I had the Ethernet running from one computer to the other so it can just pull everything that this is showing.
Right.
But that was just straight off of Wi-Fi. It's a robust Wi-Fi in here. And so I'm going to go back and look at it on YouTube and see how the stream went.
He's got a robust. How do you get a robust Wi-Fi? What's a robust Wi-Fi?
Robust means the connection.
No, I know what you're saying, but what company do I call to get a robust Wi-Fi?
Xfinity.
Xfinity?
Yeah, but listen. So here's the deal. So with the Xfinity thing, and most people can testify to this. Y'all say hello if you want here. I see 10 people. Just say hello and shout Irvin out. Tell him have a good time. So look, your car.
Don't get a tan. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah,
I'm here to get a tan
for your birthday. Yep, he gonna be what, 65 this year?
Oh, now you start.
No, but listen.
Look, welcome. No. Let's stay right there. Welcome, because now you're 5-0. You're in the club. You're an official, as I said earlier to you. You're an official OG now. When cats see you on the street, they say, hey, "What's up, OG?" And OG doesn't mean original gangster. OG means old guy. So you're an official OG now. So welcome to the club, bro. And no, I won't be 65. I will be 59 in a few days. 59, 5'9".
You next to that milestone. That's what I'm talking about. You next to that new milestone.
They say 60 is the new 50.
Well, so here's the deal. When you mentioned about the Xfinity, the crazy thing about Xfinity or whatever your service is, your provider, the provider is supposed to provide for you connection, right? And so if you're like me and most people, what they never notice, you're talking to somebody that got the same provider you got, and then you'll be like, man, Xfinity jacking up, they ain't no good, and I got to pay all this money and blah, 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 blah. And then what'll end up happening is somebody will tell you, they'll say, oh, I got this, I got that, and what box you got? And you like, I got this box. And they like, oh, mine don't look like that. You like, what kind of box you got? And they like, oh, I got this. And then you ask how much you paying, and they telling you they paying less than what you paying. Then when you call them up, you like, hey, I'm about to get rid of this because blah, blah, blah. And they like, oh, Mr. Pelzer, what box do you have? And they're like, oh, we have a wonderful offer for you. We have the new X by 14 something box. And you like, well, why ain't y'all tell me? And they like, you had to ask. All right. So here's the sneaker preach. A lot of times you have not because you ask not.
Because you ask not.
You ask not.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times we could be on the same system with the same provider, but I have more than you, not because I'm that much more special, but because I knew to ask.
Well, that's why, and that's how I am. That's why I asked, because I don't know. I've never heard of a robust, stronger, Wi-Fi signal. I'm like, okay, where do you get that from? Just like you taught me, I needed to make sure I had an Ethernet cable. I need to get that X-Pod, make sure I had an Ethernet cable and connect to my my Mac Mini, direct with a hard cable.
But wait, this is the Friar show.
I didn't know that.
Right, this is the Friar place. But let's tell the truth about what we know about you. You asked. You asked.
Well, yeah.
Because you asked, like when you saw, you looked and you like, dang, I like how Keith looked online. So you asked the question. You already knew how to get online. You already had the thing, and then after you got a camera, then you like, bro, the lighting. So you ask.
Yep.
right?
What's that? How you do that?
What is that? Then you listen to the sound. You like, but you sound good. So you ask, same way. When I went to your church,
Right.
I was like, it sound good in here. My members said, what kind of system is this? Because they asked. So to our point as preachers, you have not because you ask not.
That's right. That's
right.
So did y'all get that? You have not? I mean, even God says that. And that's why, but why don't we ask? But why don't we ask?
Good question.
Are we afraid? Are we afraid to ask? Or are we think that we're going to look less than or sound less than or come off as being not smart or not intelligent because we're asking? Is that why we don't ask?
That's a good question.
Why don't we ask? I mean, we'll go with we'd rather go without.
Somebody tell us. I'm gonna look in the column. Somebody just type in why is it that most people they suffer for not asking? Just ask the question.
Right. Just ask the question.
I offer one thing. Sometimes people don't ask because they're not willing to work the answer.
Well, that was one of the things I was going to come up with or say.
Go ahead.
That was maybe we don't ask because they didn't try first.
Wow.
And maybe the answer is so simple and so plain and so vanilla that had they just tried first, they never would have had to ask.
Wow, this is great. So trying, in most cases, when you give something a try, it shapes your question. If you never try, you're asking the question amiss because you have no direction. But if you try, you kind of get a direction to understand. It's kind of like asking somebody, how do I there's a car sitting in front of you, there's car keys, the car is gassed up, and you're like, how do I get to Philadelphia fast? And it's like, well, drive the car. You know what I'm saying? But if you try to drive the car and there's a roadblock, then you can say, well, you need an app to help you get around. But if you never try, your question is, how do I get there? It's like, there's a car, there's keys, there's gas. What are you asking? You're not willing to drive, try, walk in the direction or anything, and not asking becomes the problem a lot of times because we're not willing to put any effort to the ask.
So you already have before you ask, you actually already have the answer to your question.
Vincent said pride. That's a good one.
It's just the vehicle. You need the vehicle to get there, not the vehicle like you're talking about. But I'm saying you already have the answer to your question, whether it's you trying or whether it's someone else giving you the answer, but it's already there.
Right. So deal with this.
So
real quick.
that's why you have to ask.
So look, deal with this one. That makes sense. Deal with this one and shift it into this aspect and how Vincent said pride. How does pride play into why people don't ask?
Well, again, you don't want to look a certain way. You don't want to sound a certain way. You don't want people to view you a certain way. That's what pride is. You want to be esteemed at a certain level. And they say, keep your mouth shut and nobody will know you're stupid. Don't open your mouth. So if you don't open your mouth, then nobody knows what level you're on, really.
Wow.
So pride is an inward view of yourself and how you esteem yourself, how you evaluate yourself. And in that, it keeps you, pride limits you, actually, is what it does. It keeps you from expanding or growing, I would think.
Yes.
Because the cage.
Yes.
You stay caged, it limits you. It keeps you caged in that mindset.
Wow.
I don't know.
And he also says this, that's why most people fail because they stop trying. When you stop trying, there's a failure. So it's kind of like we always talk about
trying. People don't want to put effort. Trying is hard. You got to put forth effort. You said that earlier.
Yeah.
You got to put forth effort, and people don't, for the most part, or a lot. They just don't want it. They don't want to try. They don't want to put forth effort. They want it. They want the reward. Here you go. They want the reward with no responsibility.
Yep. It's funny because I said the other day I had a post up called requests and requirements. Because it's like we're when we say Philippians, make your requests be made known. Okay, so we're praying with Thanksgiving, thinking on these things, and we make a request made known. but we skip the requirements. You know,
right.
so
the responsibility.
Right.
You have to be. Look. You have to. Lord. I want to be like. I think you may have said this the other day. Lord, I want to live a healthier life. Okay, it's not going to be. It's not going to happen magically. I mean, God could do that. God does have the power to do that. But you got to start exercising. You got to start eating right. You got to be willing to participate in your own deliverance.
Yes. Wow. Participate.
So there's some stuff
in your deliverance. Oh, come on, sir. Come on. The children. No, you're going to take this because you got that Old Testament history like on lock. Your brain on that Old Testament study is it. The children of Israel. I'm gonna just set you up. The children of Israel. They got delivered from Egypt, right?
Right.
Okay, they got delivered, but they had a responsibility to follow by day and by night.
Yes, sir.
Take it, sir.
That's
Come
right.
on.
The pillar of cloud, the pillar of fire and the pillar of cloud. They had to follow it. They had to keep going, even though they were going in circles and marching for years. They had to keep moving. When the pillar moved, they moved. When the pillar stopped, they stopped. They had the responsibility. There was the requirement of following the presence of God. And as they followed the presence of God, watch this, they got eventually further and farther away from their bondage. And eventually made it, and yes, they got further and
pause
farther.
1 second. Stop. That got hot right there. That got hot. Go ahead.
But when you participate in your own deliverance, and this ain't all that deep, y'all. Y'all know that. When you participate in your own deliverance,
it is deep.
Your deliverance it gets further and farther behind you as you do what you need to do according to the will and the way of God to live up to the responsibility that God gives you. There's requirements that God has for our lives. God's not going to sit back and just do everything, and that's part of the problem with us, particularly as Christians. We think that when we get saved, that everything's going to be all right all the time. No, it's not going to be all right all the time. There's things that you're going to have to do. There's things you're going to have to deal with. And for Paul had a thorn in his side. Asked God to remove it. God said no 3 times. So where we fall short, God says, my grace is sufficient. My grace will make up the difference. So you do your part. God's grace will carry you through. I think that's a song, isn't it? Your grace and mercy brought us through.
Right.
I'm living this moment. Go ahead and sing it, man. Because of you. Yeah, because of him. But that's it. No, it's just we have to be able to do our part. We have to live up to the standards that God places before us.
Oh,
that's it's just following the pillar or following the cloud. We have to stand on that, stay with that, and stick to that.
Wow. So basically the way you put it is that you're prospering and your deliverance requires your participation. That's
definitely.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
I don't listen. When I was doing drugs, and I really was trying to stop doing drugs. And I stopped because God kept me. I was having an overdose. I was overdosing. I was losing. I couldn't hold my body still. And I knew I was overdosing. But God kept me. And when God kept me, obviously he did his part. He did what I could not do. Guess what? I had to do my part. I had to not go certain places. I had to not entertain certain thoughts. I had to do things to keep myself busy. Otherwise, I wasn't moving away from the point of my deliverance. As I moved further and farther away from my point of deliverance, it never became an issue anymore. Those same triggers never had an impact on me. I could be in certain places and not fall, not stumble, not have a setback. So God's going to do his part, but there's work that we have to do. And sometimes the work can be tedious. Sometimes the work can be hard. Sometimes we fail at the work. But if we fail at it, at least we're trying. At least we're doing what God said do. You know, and when we're doing what the Lord says do, listen, there's rewards to obedience, but there's also rewards or consequences to disobedience.
It's amazing that when people get in trouble, you can't ever really look back at it and say, I wasn't doing nothing and I got in trouble. I mean, there's some cases where you got profiling, you get picking on. Like, we're not going into politics or, crimes on black people and stuff.
You can lead Jesus. Jesus didn't hurt anybody. He didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
So it can happen. They still nailed him. They
happen.
still spiked him. So it can happen. But most of the time, it's self-inflicted.
Right. You realize there's a path that I took to get me there. Okay. Even if and like we know, even if I was manipulated, even if I was bamboozled, this, that, and the third, it still required something on my part. I woke up in the morning and I went to the place. Now, what everybody else did shady, I got, like, I'm just pulling a part of what we have to do. In other words, when I used to club, and I've been places where I'm like, praise the Lord, the cops ain't shut this place down, and I'd have been coming out in handcuffs. I was like, your grace and mercy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Holy Ghost was like, you don't need to go to that next room. And I was just like, something just in my spidey senses telling me we need to go somewhere else, right? And so, then you look on the news, like, 2 weeks later, and you like, whoa. But the thing is, if I got caught, I couldn't say somebody forced me to go there. I went. So I'm just pulling that part to say, in prospering and in success, there's a part that, to your point, it requires your participation. And then so everything that you said is just like so dead on point. Going to wars requires you to put one foot in front of the other in most cases, right? Even if you say I took a ride, you got to strap in or you got to get on it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the magic carpet don't just scoop you from underneath. You got to stand on it, even if it's going to move. And so, the ark, you had to get in the ark for the safety. You ain't get floated into the ark. They had to walk into it before, it closed up. So they got saved in the ark, but they had to go into it. So you can't look at the ark and say, look what God provided for me. Woo, hallelujah. You can stand there and dance and you're going to drown because the water's coming. You got to get in it while the door is open. And then you take the ride. So, dude, that road to deliverance and your participation in it. And then I love the part how you said you get further and further away from what it was that had you on lockdown. That's the beauty in it. So now what it was that had you jacked up or had you on lockdown, you too far from it to actually see. Now, this about to get real deep real quick. You too far from it to see, to describe it. And the only way you can describe it is from the picture of where you were. Now, check that out.
Where you were.
You can only describe it from your memory of where you were because you're not there now. So now it's a choice, and this pushes us back to Philippians on think on these things, because it also, going forward, still causes you to have vision on where you're going that you may not be at. So even though you experience that place of lockdown, you're away from it now, and you have the choice on what you're bringing up of it. So to your testimony the other week, when you bring about how God worked the angel in your life, you're choosing to think on these things. The positive in your imprisonment. You hear what I just said? The uplifted in your being down and under. The blessing in your bondage. You see, so now you bring the testimony. It's like Joseph, where it's like, yo, I was locked up, right? But here's what happened. Oh my God, this is your story right here. Joseph,
it's all good.
Let me say, I gotta bless you with this, bro. Y'all gonna love this right here. Hit the like button. Joseph, he dealt with hateration. And Exodus 1:5 says, but he was in Egypt already. Then we remember where all the people that threw him under the bus, he was like, we ain't even going to talk about that now. But his testimony brings out that he had failed statements. He got stabbed in the back. They promised him, I'm going to hook you up. The cupbearer and the other boy, they was like, yo, I got you. And then Potiphar's wife lied on him. And he never got a court case or counsel to reveal the full true story. Let that sink in. He didn't get. I'm with you. He didn't get a whole outing to put her on blast and say she told a lie. He didn't really get that. His word. Oh, here it is. His word only mattered to the one that was in control to do something about it. Ain't that crazy?
And the one in control was the only one that could do something about it.
There it was.
Yeah.
And so
that's why he's the one that it only matters. That's why he is the only one that it matters to and matters with.
Yes, sir.
He is the only one that can do something about it.
Wow.
He can do something. Let me you said something earlier to trigger something in my mind that I preached this a long time ago. But you were talking about getting farther or further away from our past and from the thing or the things or the people or the situation that we needed or have been delivered from. It's important that we understand that we were made to move forward. We're made to move forward. God made, watch this. This gonna bless you. I don't think I've said this to you before, but we were made to move forward. Okay. Physically, we were made to move forward. Your eyes are in front of your head, right?
Yes.
Your mouth is in front of your face, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can speak those things that are not as though they already are.
Right.
Your eyes are not behind your head, so that you're not looking at what's going on behind you. Your eyes are in front of your head so you can see where God is taking you.
Right. Right.
Your ears aren't pinned backwards. Your ears are slanted forward.
Right. Right. Right.
So you're not listening to what folk are saying behind your back. But you can hear faith coming what? By hearing and hearing the word of God. Your feet are pointed what? Forward, right?
Right.
Not backwards. You can walk backwards, but they're more effective when you put one foot in front of the other and walk into your destiny. God made us to go forward. Now, what's the one thing that's behind you?
You're behind.
and you're behind, and your behind is full of a bunch of what? Shut your mouth, preacher.
Hang on. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I'm done.
Oh my God. No, that's it right there.
You got to move forward though. You have to move forward. And again, we were made to move forward. I like that, boy. See, you can do those kind of things on the move. I got to learn how to do that, man. Where I can just put stuff up like that. That's going to be one of my T-shirts too. When I get Press and Sew to do my T-shirts, we're made to move forward. That's going to be one of my shirts for the fireplace.
That's good stuff, man.
But yeah, we got to move forward. We can't dwell on the past. Our future needs us, not our past. We can't do anything about the past. So, and that's just something I've had to lean on, something I've had to glean from, and something I've actually had to do with all this stuff that's going on. Wishing you sitting on, Irving, wishing I was sitting on that balcony. Great conversation. That's Andy Lesnick. He's on the board of my CDC.
Nice.
He's the vice president, Andy Lesnick. Yeah, actually, he was one of my cellmates too.
Actually. Got you.
One of the people that I stay in contact with that we developed a relationship while we were locked up.
Okay.
Ain't that something, man?
We got Richard on here.
I ever thought Richard, that's my cousin.
There we go.
See what it said. What did it say?
Oh, here, I'll move it up. Let me see. Is that put
okay,
it?
Thank you.
Okay, there we go.
Wait a minute. Is that a song? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Boy, you should see what some of these people have on around here, Keith.
Oh my goodness. Hey,
you know, when you have people put stuff on that put things on or wear things that they really shouldn't be wearing. You know what I'm talking about? People will.
Hey, wait a minute. In the comments section, just put it there. What do you think that people are wearing to the beach today? Just put in the comments.
Woo.
What do you think people are wearing to the beach today? They don't care. That's how I feel.
They don't care.
Oh,
like I said,
goodness.
I saw this dude walking around with leopard. He had leopard swimming trunks on. Leopard swimming trunks.
Hey man, COVID done made people crazy. They gotta get free. They gotta figure something out.
Is that what it is?
They figuring something out. They like, man, I am free.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord, I'm free.
Yeah, okay.
They like, I'm in Cancun, darn it. You know what I'm saying? They just wherever.
They put me in bondage.
Oh.
No, eyes front, Irving. And my wife gets mad because I say something. I don't really bite my tongue like I should.
Oh, he was saying his comment is to your background.
Oh.
Yeah. So wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute. Yeah.
Oh, because you didn't know I was in Cancun, cuz? Look at that. Look at that.
Not too much. They said they're not wearing too much. Mom says, no, you should not see some of these things, Pelzer. I feel you. Mom, I can only imagine. I'm like, man, Miami is the worst, though. That's not Miami. Jeez, you see anything.
Oh, yeah.
Anything Miami.
Yeah, Miami's. I played down there. Yeah, it was crazy. And South Street, it's not even the beach. They wear less there than they do on the beach. South Beach.
Yep, South Beach. What's the main
South
street
Beach.
down there?
Yeah,
I'm glad I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna remember. I know it's so good because I'll admit I was wasted on that joint one time. I was done.
Well, I only went. Listen, I played down there for 3 years. I lived down there for several more years. I only went down there one time. That was it. I couldn't go down there anymore. Couldn't go down there anymore, man.
Oh my goodness.
So what are you gonna say? You gonna say something?
No. No, I was like, I'm glad I don't remember the name of the street. I normally always say it. Hold up. I remember where I used to go, Wet Willys. So I remember the names of the drinks there. Wet Willys. Here's
Wet Willys.
Yeah, Wet Willys. So Wet Willys is kind of like a Fat Tuesdays.
What is a wet?
It sits right on the corner.
What is a Wet Willy?
It's like Fat Tuesdays where they make the slushy alcoholic drinks, right? So you're down there, you're hot, and you're trying to stay cool. And so here's my sneaker preach moment. I realized to when I was getting wasted, and I wasn't like a drinker like that, but it's like I ain't gonna kill the vibe because everybody like, oh, Keith the PK, he don't drink, he don't smoke, he don't do nothing. And I'm like, I was like, drinking just not my thing. But I like wine, but I was like, drinking just ain't my super thing. I don't do the beer thing all the time because I'm like, I just don't get much from it. I get more from wine or tea or coffee. But I'm like, I'm not really into beer. So they're drinking, everybody's, and you down there with mixed culture. So you with your homies, but it's a bunch of white folk, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, everybody down there.
Right.
And you in Miami, so you're having a good time, right? So what I realize is you got them varsity dudes that's like, yo, dude, you gonna drink, man? And I'm like, yo, I'm trying to save my money.
No, say it again. How they talk?
Like, yo, dude, you gonna drink, bro? And I'm like, so you meet people down there, and you meeting Bob and Jim and different people, and they like, yo, bro, come on, man. And you like, nah, I'm cool. So they like, nah, man, you gonna get a drink, bro? And then they bring you a drink for free. I'm like, all right, so be cordial. You say thank you and you go ahead and drink it because it ain't against my religion. It's not that I can't drink alcohol. I just don't choose to like that. Right. Next thing you know, the chicks coming off the beach and they're like, oh, we're going to party. Next thing you know, they want to put the shot inside the drink. So then they got vodka test tubes and turn them over and they put them in there. So now the drink's stronger. Once you get into starting it in the heat, let this marinate, y'all. Once you get started on it in the heat, the cooling effect of the drink is helping you to take the heat off, but you're adding more intoxication to yourself. So now, and then you at a place where you coming to have fun anyway. But now, next thing you know, I'm just the sipping. Then everybody's laughing, having a good time. Then somebody else makes another round. Then you get another free. Now catch this here. I did not pay to get wasted. Let that sink in. It didn't cost me to get. It didn't cost me my money to get wasted, but it cost me my thinking and my time. Yes. So here's the end of the story. I don't know what happened from 4:00 till 2:00 when they said get dressed and we going to the club at 2 a.m. I was so out of it. I don't know if they put chalk on my face, painted my toenail. I don't know what happened. All I know is I woke up and they was laughing like, man, you funny when you drunk. And I'm sitting there like, that's not going to happen again. Yeah. If I ever get drunk again, I'm like, I will be home by myself because I don't know what y'all do. I don't know what kind of pictures y'all be done got of me or nothing. I'm like, nah, man. So that's just my little story. But
now.
Yeah, but it didn't cost me.
You can't do that now. They got film. No, well, you didn't pay anything.
Yeah, I didn't pay anything, but it did cost me because at least now my testimony is like I share with young people like, listen, go have your fun, but like be responsible when you have fun so that because everybody's story doesn't end the same way. That's the problem. Yeah. Everybody's story. And if we learn how to testify even in our fun, we actually are helping people out because a lot of things I don't do is more so the rationale, but not the judgment or indictment on other people. It's just the rationale. So if I share my rationale, you know, it doesn't force you to do like I do. It doesn't force you, but it's what we talk about on influence. And that's the thing. So let's run back like preachers. When you take Jesus talking, he didn't really force a lot on people, but he became the example. And it was the scribes and the Pharisees that kept trying to go, oh, but it say right here. Jesus just lived it so that when you talk about his life, you kind of like, wow, he covered everything without
it works, yes.
Without tossing it out there. You know, when they judged the woman when she came in the room and one of his homies was like, look at her, here she come. And he's like, yo, let me say something to you, because I know what's going on in your head, because I'm working my little bit of omniscience, you know, and I know what's going on in your head. And he said, Simon, I have something to say to you. And he shut him down because he knew dude was thinking like, ooh, look at her. He judging. Jesus gave the example. And that's what I try to do a lot of times is like, you know, we're responsible for our rationale as a testimony and not a judgment, but as an example. And then when people question why you did certain things, that's where the testimony comes out.
Right. And that eliminates, like you said, the judgmental part being projected on you by other people.
Look, and listen, so I'm going to say this on a blanket statement. There are things that you and I do that we don't have to explain to people, and they won't be shocked when they like, oh, I didn't know you listen to R&B music. Yeah, we do. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, because we never put it like, oh, that's sinful music. It's like, there's a lot of things that's sinful, but you don't have to turn off your TV. You don't have to not listen to the radio. It's like, and I don't want to go in this conversation, but I'm just being honest. Reverend Keith Pelzer do not put on no gospel music when the kids aren't home and it's just me and my wife. I'm sorry. I mean, I put on everything from Tank to
put Reverend Irving Friar in there too.
Bro, listen, I'm like, you show me one preacher that have a date night and you putting on Jesus Keep Me Near the Cross. Man, get up out of here. Miss me.
That's not where I'm trying to get near to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get near the cross, bro. No. I'm trying to get, not trying to get near the cross.
Wait, Vincent said that them glasses come from that party. Yeah, man, this is some Mardi Gras stuff right here. This is some Mardi Gras stuff, man.
Hey, Vincent, Vinny, Keith has a pair of glasses for every different color light he has that he can put his lights on. He can turn his lights green, he can turn them purple, he can turn them red, he can turn them blue. And every different light color he has for that studio, he has a pair of glasses.
I narrowed it down though. I narrowed it down.
Now turn the lights blue.
No, that's too much work. I don't even know where my stuff at, man.
No, you don't. Tell Alexa, turn the lights blue. She'll turn
Alexa,
them blue.
studio doors blue.
See
if she listens.
Watch. Told you. See what? Told you. See, I told you.
She paid attention.
Listen, I don't know if my Alexa will turn the lights different colors. I just got it set up so she'll turn them off and on. I haven't figured out yet how to get her to change the colors yet.
She get ignorant sometime. Now let me see if Siri want to do it. Siri, studio doors yellow.
Coming right up.
Oh, Siri is doing it. Come on now.
Listen. I got to get my technology up to par. I don't know how Alexa. I don't know if I have Alexa programmed to switch the colors yet.
Wait.
I was late today. I'm trying to catch up. I'm going to have to watch this later to catch up.
Look,
we just. as Keith says, here's what Keith says when he's on the combos. I'm just on here farting around. I'm just on here farting around. That's
Absolutely.
What he says. We just on here farting around.
Messing with technology, because look, practice make perfect, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you get your practice. Irv, you are working that phone. So listen, everybody, shout outs to my brother Irvin Friar, because he didn't want to miss a beat. He wanted to stay consistent, and he didn't allow his vacation to be an excuse, because he's actually having fun right now, but he wanted to be consistent. And so we're using technology to be consistent, and I'm just impressed with how you're making that iPhone 12 work. Wonderful. Well, just setting it up. I mean, are you holding the phone though?
I'm holding it right in front of my face.
I'm gonna bust you up, man. Now look, this is a man with multiple cameras, SM7B, Rodecaster Pro, beautiful studio setup, lights in the background, Godox lights and all of that stuff with soft boxes, and he got his iPhone and did not take with him on vacation a holder for the phone. So I need you to go to Small Rig or somebody and mount the phone up. Because listen, you know what's crazy though? Because
I want to hold it with my hand. I don't want to put it on the stand.
But
I want it to be like, cause that way I can move it. I can move it a little bit.
Yeah, but you shaking me up, man. My vertigo is jacking up. Yeah, my vertigo.
Really?
My vertigo is going. No, you were fine.
It's like I got it on a slider.
No, you're fine. But I'm totally impressed with.
See the slider? I got it on the slider.
Hold on, let me give you full screen. Do the slide. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Irvin Friar with the manual slider. There it is. Come on with the manual slider. Look.
Sick, man.
I'm digging it. No, but see, if you put the phone further away from you, then you can get more of an imagery background, because you just got your face right here.
Well, I keep, I do things on purpose. And
what you gain weight or something? You don't want nobody see your muffin top?
I ain't getting no weight.
You got muffin top or something?
I ain't getting no weight.
Look,
my wife said yesterday, watch this.
Prove it.
What? I ain't taking my shirt off for you.
Proving you ain't got no muffin top. Look.
No, listen. My wife said yesterday we were sitting down and I was hot. I said, I'm going to take my shirt off. She goes, if you take your shirt off, you're going to embarrass everybody out here. That's what she said.
Oh, that's good. That's the terms of endearment.
That's what she said.
Oh,
if you take your shirt off, you're going to embarrass everybody. I'm like, yeah, girl.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm doing this on purpose. You know why I'm doing this? Because I'm using the front camera on the phone. And when you use the front camera, if you have any verbiage or any kind of picture or anything on your shirt, it shows up backwards. When I have writing on my shirt, I can't stand when other people do that.
No, hey, wait. That's why Ecamm is what Ecamm is. Now, so I'm going to repurpose this and let Ecamm know Irvin Friar did not recognize how dope this software is. He failed to realize that the dopeness of Ecamm is the fact that on his camera, go to your camera real quick. Just show your shirt. I'm going to show you. I'm going to get down real quick. Right? It's the right way. See that? Come on. But look, go back to your shirt real quick. Go back to your shirt.
But that's why I was doing.
Look, see? That's what you thought was going to happen.
Right?
Because now it's backwards.
Right. Yes.
But if it was backwards, you did so whatever you did with your phone, you need to tell people that's what they need to do, because your shirt's showing up right. It's the right orientation. So you got it all right. You figured it out.
I didn't do anything on my phone. I just logged in.
Well, see, you know what it is? It's because
Ecamm's doing it. Yeah.
Ecamm's doing it, and you got a smartphone. That's the difference.
Right.
You got a smartphone.
It switched it by itself. Smartphone. Okay.
And
I got a smartphone.
Your phone ain't dumb because it's an Apple. It's a smartphone.
Right. Well, yeah, you're right. It's a smartphone. We are apostolics.
Apostolic. We are apostolics. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't know it switched the picture like that. But that's why I do have it in my face, because I thought maybe the writing would be coming up backwards. But yep, I am a creator.
Boy, hold up. Why all y'all in the group got the shirts? I got to talk to Preston So. I got to talk to Preston So and Katie. Who?
Doc Rock. No, he sent me those. Doc Rock. Doc.
I'm disappointed now. I'm disappointed. That's because my beard ain't as full as y'all's yet. I'm getting there though.
No. Your beard is dope. And I heard you guys talking about the beards the other day. I'm like, okay, what they're saying is making sense, but I got a little some secrets too. I got some. I didn't hear Doc mention beard serum. Now
The
guys that
serum
I
is
use,
it.
the serum, yeah. Now the company I use called the Beard Guys. That's the stuff that I use from the Beard Guys.
Okay.
And I use serum. I use the butter, the beard butter, like Doc was saying. You serum in the beard butter, but I make sure that I shampoo. Yup, like you said, don't use your wife's hair shampoo or her hair conditioner. You got to get beard shampoo
Look
and
at that
beard
beard.
conditioner.
Look at
so
that
your
beard.
beard can look like this and be nice and soft. And you got to keep it manicured. Look at that right there.
Look at
Ooh,
that
that's
beard.
tight.
That beard is
God
right.
Almighty.
And you know what? I ain't gonna ask you. I'm gonna zoom it in myself. Look at that. I'm gonna zoom it in myself. Look at hold on. Look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna put that camera where I want. I'm gonna put it right on that beard. Look at that, man. Look at it, nice full and we're gonna go on the show with the Beard Guys. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, you are on the Friar Show, the fireplace right here, where everything is lit and it is fire. Hear that fire burn in the background?
That's not where everything is lit and it's fire.
Listen, if you have not hit the like button, please see. People don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna tell you, hit the like button. So figure it out on your phone.
Okay.
You can also do it on your smart TV with your remote. So if you're ever watching Urban Friar on your smart TV, you can take that remote on YouTube on your smart TV and hit the like button. It really helps for YouTubers. So I think we only have 4 likes right now. Huh?
That helps with the monetization,
heck
right?
Heck yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, share the link. Yeah. Make sure you subscribe if you're watching. There's 13 people watching right now. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you get the notifications because it's only going up from here. And so, what did you say? We were made to move forward. So this is a forward going process. So thank you so much. So Grady Wilson. Who's Grady Wilson? You know who Grady Wilson is?
Grady Wilson. On Red Fox.
Oh,
on the Red Fox. Grady Wilson with the beard. He said, "I got a Grady Wilson beard on
wow, wow,
like on remember Sanford and Son show?
Yes, I know you're talking about.
Grady Wilson. Yeah.
I see the Grady picture already. I'm looking at it like wow.
Yeah.
He said Grady Wilson. Thank you so much, sir. Glad you're having fun and glad to have finally put a face on Mr. Pels and Cousin speaks about and very highly of you.
I talk about you all the time. Yeah, I talk about you all the time.
I'm gonna believe that a little bit. He probably talked bad. It's like, no, I'm playing.
No,
Irv's my dude, man.
I talk about you all the time, bro.
Irv's my dude, man. He never switched up on me. I was always just proud to know him. You and remember the Duramises? Pastor Duramis from Acco, New Jersey?
Yes.
Yeah, because his boys was playing football too. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I forgot what team he was playing. He wasn't in the NFL as long as you, but I know he was on something.
Right.
And so I don't know if he was bench or starter, but I remember when they said he got drafted. So knowing y'all Jersey boys, everybody was getting drafted in Jersey. I was like, damn, Philly boys ain't doing nothing. Them Jersey boys is doing it. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think they got some Philly boys now. They're drafted.
Oh yeah,
they got boys in the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm hoping Carlton Aiken's son, man, he's crushing it right now. So I'm like, maybe he'll
really okay.
Yeah, so he's doing his thing, man. So hopefully,
it's hard to get. It's hard to get there, man. Ones that do, they worked hard and they're really talented.
Mm-hmm.
And as you see, once they get there, man, they get. I don't know why so many injuries all the time now. It's like, they make it through the first couple of weeks, but then people just start falling off like flies.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
Yeah,
and they're season-ending injuries. Guys walking and they bust their Achilles, like Brandon Brooks, not Brandon Brooks, Brandon Graham.
Yeah, Brandon Graham. Yep.
Yeah.
But wait, he's 33, right? He's 33.
Yeah, he's 33.
Yeah,
so that means.
Remember, you said on the show, it's a blessing now if you get that far with the age, because that age bracket of success that's a smaller window. So y'all were blessed, man, when guys like y'all retired at y'all was up there in age. You almost got grandchildren still playing ball. You know what I'm saying?
I was 38. I was 38 when I retired.
Yeah, but and here's the thing though, but y'all are still in shape though. You know what I mean? Like some people, they gotta retire
Not all
because
of
it's
us.
like, wait a minute,
Not all of us. No, not all. Listen,
Not-
I saw who did I see? I went.
right?
Listen. I went to New England. I
Oh
went to New
boy,
England a couple weeks ago and saw some of my former teammates.
yeah,
Man, these cats were my size. Now they weigh, like 300 pounds,
right,
290 pounds. I'm like, you were my size. How do you get that big? How does your butt spread and your waist and stuff, your stomach go? When your stomach is sticking out farther than your chest, you got a problem.
bro. So wait, so here's a crazy thing though. That's interesting. 8 people, it's 12 people watching. It's only up to 6 likes. Try to hit that like button. Thank you. Listen, it helps. And if you have a YouTube and you're watching right now, list your YouTube in the comment section. All right, so that we know that you go live and that you have some content up. All right. But yeah, so here's what I want to say. I want to do, well, I don't have to do it, but I think on one of your shows, you should talk about the fitness after, or the physique after, or the maintenance beyond. Understand where I'm going? Because it's like a preacher who retires, but he's an emeritus and he's still serving, like a Wilson Good.
Right.
He was mayor,
Right.
but he's over at Eric Simmons Church, or Albert Campbell and different ones. I get it. If you kind of like, listen, my old behind don't need to be stepping up here, but I'm still here serving, and you're still in shape as a man or as a pastor or something. But there's some people that get into something, they reach that level of success, and then they fall off. And they just let themselves go. Now, we know it can be everything. Depression, hard times, this, that, and the third. But some people, it's not depression and all that. They just kind of let it go.
They're being lazy.
So for you, here's where you inspired me. Anybody watching right now, ask Irvin a question about how does he stay in shape and stay like dope like he is. Like, he's my motivator. I just turned 50. And we are, 9 years apart? About 9 years apart, right? Almost 10.
Yep.
But we joke a lot, and I joke with him calling him an old man, but I'm pretty sure he can still outrun me, out bench press me, the whole thing. But that's inspiring for me, because I've always been that way, looking up to Irvin. And the older he got, the more he just kept looking the same. And that changes the narrative of looking at the old uncle, the old OG and stuff. And you kind of like, man, I don't want to get like, dude, you just sit around and eat. And, you know what I mean? Sitting on a recliner chair. Like, Herb don't have no recliner chair that he laying back in like, honey, bring me my steak. Give me something to drink. I mean, this dude is up like early. Jesus, he's a preacher. Early in the morning. Working. I mean, why does it have to stop? That's the problem.
Here's what I want to tell you. Here's what I want to say about that, and I appreciate that. And you're my inspiration in other areas, not necessarily. You can listen. You ride. I can ride 50 miles on a bike, man.
Man, I mean, I love it. I
don't know how you do that. So listen, you're there too. But here's the thing about me and the physical conditioning. My body, because I've operated at a certain level physically, professional football, and trained a certain level, don't ever reach or don't train at. Because I've reached that level, I can't just walk. I can't just lift a few weights and think that my body's going to respond. I have to work at a high level, because my body's used to working at a high level. If it's going to maintain itself, I have to go out and do what I'm doing. Otherwise, my body's not going to respond. I was going into the weight room and, doing the weight room thing, doing the bench press, doing the leg curls, doing the leg extensions, doing the squats, doing pull-ups. And my body just wasn't responding. It wasn't leaning down. I wasn't trying to lose weight, but I wanted it to look a certain way, and I wanted it to respond a certain way. And it just wasn't doing that with your regular workout. So I had to take it to another level.
Wow.
Now, everybody's different. Like you said, everybody's different. So it's not going to take that for everybody else. Some people who have never done anything, all it's going to take is a little bit, and your body's going to respond because you've never done it before. You're going to shock your body, and your body's going to respond. But for those of us who are used to working out all the time and have worked out and exercised at a certain level, professional level, you can't just think you're going to do a little bit, and your body's going to respond the way you want it to respond. It's going to take a lot of effort. Again, you're going to have to do your part.
Right.
Hey, Keith, tell Cuz. What do you say? Tell Cuz
Hold
what?
up. Here we go. There it is.
Hey, Keith, tell Cuz I'm proud of my dad's bod. Okay. He's proud of his dad. Of his dad's bod?
Yeah, the body.
His bod,
like, proud of his dad's
right.
body. Yep.
Of his dad's
so
body.
It's like,
okay.
yeah, it's like a compliment. It's like a compliment of, being in shape. Like, because I get that, like, because you remember my dad. Like, so my dad had that natural shape, right? And so
he was tight.
Yeah, so some push-ups and stuff just keep it in line. But then there's that point. So here's a blessing. Sneaker preach again. There's a certain point where even if you're gifted to be a certain way, right? It's what Irvin talked about earlier. It's the requirements. It's the participation even in what you were blessed with. So some of us were fortunate enough to be like, oh, you cut and you fit. But after a while in life, you're going to have to do maintenance to keep it in that shape. And so there's requirements in order to do that. And it's more so the closer I get to you type thing. Because it's about strong finish. It's about last mile of the way. And even in our faith, there's a build-up and a workup and a more responsible focus. So this is why elders have a responsibility to let wisdom leak from them. They have a responsibility to give wisdom for guidance. And so this is what happens where when the Bible says respect the elders of the church, it's like, yo, there's some experience in there, especially those in the faith that can be a blessing to those that have no direction, especially, this is about to bless us right here, especially now in COVID-19. It's not that older saints know exactly everything about COVID-19, but they've been through enough to help guide, and some of us just too dumb to listen. Because it's like, because, you're not a scientist, you're not this, that, and the third. No, there's some things that experience will help with, mixed with knowledge. And experience don't mean that I didn't learn anything. So there's knowledge wrapped up in a lot of seniors' experience. And so when you put that together, it's like, so when you take that and you have that information, and you get past intimidation, you start to really build and grow. So yeah, back to this whole body thing and maintenance. You said something that was so deep. You said while you were in the NFL, there was a practice that you had. There was a intentional practice, right? So when we think about our faith, and it's search the scriptures, study to show thyself approved. There's times like that the practice intentionally is going to come and help you when you're beyond the need to practice. So there were mornings when you got up because you got to play on Sundays. You are learning stuff because you had to remember to play for the game. But when that is over, because of that lifestyle practice, it wasn't for the moment, it's your lifestyle. This is the thing that I try to share with people. They like, man, you exercise and this, that, and the third. And I said, the struggle is more so when you make it a part of your lifestyle, not for I'm going to the beach or I got to get in this wedding dress. Because that's what happens a lot of time with, I'm not picking on women, but with a wedding. We working out to get into the dress for the wedding, and then after the wedding, we fill back out. It's like, I mean, we can do that, but
and your husband looking at you like, huh? What you?
Oh my God!
Is this who I married? Wait a minute.
Wait, what Irvin is doing right now shows how he is. How many on vacation would take time to take care of business? Boom, absolutely. Absolutely.
But again, it's like you said, it becomes, and this is how our faith should be. This should be how we live as Christians. It should be habitual. It should be a part of our lifestyle. Praying, fasting, reading, searching the scriptures. That should be a part of our lifestyle. That should be how we live. It shouldn't be necessarily a struggle most of the time. So, yeah, sometimes it's a struggle to pray. Sometimes it's a struggle to concentrate, to search the scriptures. Yes, it is. But it should be habitual. It should be a part of our daily routine. You get up in the morning. If you miss a day riding a bike, you can't stand yourself. because it's a part of what you do. It's a part of you. If I miss a day, one of the days I go on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, if I miss a day, Doc, I struggle with that. If I miss a day, I'm struggling in my mind with missing a day working out because I know I haven't done what I'm supposed to do. I haven't lived up to the platform or to the level of responsibility that I put on myself.
Well,
it's the same thing with our faith. We shouldn't feel okay if we don't pray. We shouldn't feel okay if we don't know the scriptures.
That's
we
good.
Shouldn't feel okay if we don't go to church. We shouldn't. There should be some guilt in our conscience should bother us when we're not living out the way God said to live our lives.
Come on here, sir.
For us. The script, that's what we're supposed to do. I don't know.
But we had to fan the flame on that.
It should be a problem when we're not living in obedience. It should be a problem. It should be a problem.
Hey, you know, it's amazing you said that because I watched you. I was able to take what I've done, and when you started asking the questions, and you're like, listen, I need to get here, and I already knew you're willing to do the work, so I was able to watch somebody else do the work, and we watched your studio come from a computer and a camera to a full-fledged studio, then to the breakdown, to the build up again. But here's the thing. Your presentation was about preparation. A lot of people want the presentation, but they don't want preparation. And
watch this. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Preparation is a process. And so in the processing and the preparation, it all leads to the presentation. Then in the presentation, you take the information from the presentation to know how to go back into the preparing for more. And so then you have to tweak what you already presented. And so when you look at it and you present, because you're not going to be perfect when you present. You're just going to be prepared to present. But then when you present, after you prepared, you're going to look at what do I need to brush up on, what do I need to tweak, and then you go back into preparation, and that's all part of the process. But there's joy in it. There's joy in the preparation. That's the fun part, because you learn stuff about each piece you putting together. You get ideas. When you see the one camera, you get an idea like, what if I put it over here? And then you got to look at how much capacity can this hold. Then you realize, hey, my computer is too slow. So here's what happened with you. Your vision helped you to understand that the computer you thought was the bomb was not the bomb no more. Am I talking real? Listen, you gonna laugh. You gonna laugh at this. Yesterday I had Virdra and Sonia on, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna turn on the 2020 fully loaded iMac. Now this really gonna bless us. That iMac, that was the bomb when I got it. I got it maxed out. Yeah. I got it 64 RAM, and it's the blown out best. I got one. Alicio got one. Doc got one. We all got that iMac. And then, unbeknownst, here comes Apple. We got an M1 chip. Oh, it ain't got as much RAM as mine. It ain't this, that, third. Then it was too good to be true that the thing runs silent and it runs 20 times faster than your fully loaded iMac. And we were in denial. We were in denial. And here's the main thing. Even though it can handle the stuff, the fan comes on and it makes noise. My iMac started humming, and I hit the engineer. I said, do you hear that? He said, it's cool, but I do hear it. So I had to shut the iMac down so the fan would go off. The expensive 2020 iMac that's obsolete in a sense, according to my vision. You see what I'm saying? So now we have to accept shifts, but we were already in the state of accepting shifts in our processing and preparing. So when you said, hey, I got everything, but I'm frustrated because this computer ain't right. And it's like, you got to get the M1. And you like, you know what? Boom, you move right to it. That's how we do stuff. You got to be prepared and ready to move.
But all of that too, breaking the studio down, having to reset. I hated it. I hated every moment. I didn't want to do it, Keith. I didn't want to take everything down. I didn't want to set it all back up again. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You fine. I'm laughing at Vincent and talking about you with that 1 minute. He is frozen, ladies and gentlemen. This is not his fault. He is on vacation and he's a distance away. It seems like he's still here. Let's see if he's back. He'll start moving. Okay. A little choppy. He's a little frozen. Okay. He's off air, so it'll be just me for now. When he comes back, this is Keith from the Convos Pelzer. I am the little brother of Urban Friar, and we are waiting for him to reconnect. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell him to disconnect. Actually, I'm just going to disconnect him and let him sign back in. Boom. Took him out, and he'll be back in. Thank you for joining us. Look, he just signed right back in. Let's see if he's here. And we'll go to a fire flame and then pop back in. It says he's in the guest room, but he's not lit up. Vincent, I want to step on what you said. When I started helping Urban with the church, I had to be at his house at 6 a.m., right? At 5:59, Urban was outside. Come on, sir. If I came at 6:01, I would get an earful, but it taught me a lot. Listen, there's a commercial that's on, and I think it's Horizon. And the guy says, I learned something from my grandmother. And she said, early is on time is late, and late is unacceptable. Let that sink in. Early is on time. On time is late, but late is unacceptable. So if you're early, you're basically on time. Then if you're on time, you're kind of late. And then if you're actually late, that's totally unacceptable. That's good about preparation and all. Okay, Urban, you got that camera turned sideways. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
I hear you. You hear
Boom,
me?
there you go. You're on. You're on.
Uh-oh.
You're back on.
Okay, I'm on.
Yep,
Okay.
you're back on.
Now,
You're back.
What happened? What happened?
I don't know. It could be anything. It's like, it's not your fault, man. You on vacation, bro.
No, I know. But no, real quick, I was talking about how I just hated that whole thing and having to break down the studio and then put it back up. But here's the thing about it. As much as I hated doing it, I knew I had to do it anyway because it was required in order to fulfill the vision, as you were talking about. But I realized, even though I hated every moment of it, when it was all said and done, it was good for me. I didn't like it, but it worked out, as scripture says, for my good. It was better. The product turned out better. My learning grew. My understanding grew. I got better. The vision became, at least at that point, the vision was fulfilled, and it worked out as a good thing. Even though it was, in my mind, as it was happening when I was in the middle of it, it was bad. It felt bad. I didn't like it. The circumstances in which caused it weren't good. But when it was all said and done, like the Lord says, Scripture says, it worked out for good. It made me better, and it turned out better. So,
Limitless.
That's my little sneaker preach.
So look, Limitless Sports Performance. Who's this?
That is, he calls me Pop.
Okay.
His name is Moses Green.
Okay.
He grew up with London. He was one of the young men that I kind of trained as he was coming up through high school, middle school, high school. And I was trying to help him get into the pros. But very good young man. I actually married him and his wife. I did their wedding. So his name's Moses Green. Good to see you, Mose. He calls me Pop.
Okay, Mose and Vince together, their comments, the unity of their comments is awesome because they're talking about being on time. So this is what I loved about you and a few other people with the discipline of being on time, right? Because you had to and getting up early. A lot of times my problem is I don't have accountability partners, so I knew I had to work in with myself to be on time. Now, when I was working a 9-to-5 job, I was always on time for it. I didn't play that. And then I was just saying while you were off and coming back on, the Horizon commercial where the guy says, I learned from my grandma, he said she would say, early is on time is late, and late is unacceptable. And so the thing is to be in position before everything starts. It's an assessment thing. It's a Michael Jordan type of thing where you assess everything before you even get there. You know, it's kind of
Right,
like the
right,
the two
right.
spies that went out to check out the land before they actually walked into it. There's a blessing
Right.
in being early and being ahead of it. And so
Yeah, yeah.
so the thought of it is, and like they were saying, you know, you were real, you know, on it about 1 minute. And so that transferred into Vincent saying, I say that to my workers all the time. And a lot of times I'm like, if church people would get that, it's like soak up
Oh,
the atmosphere before. Like if church started at 10, just get there at like 9 and chill. Like, you know, sometimes.
because listen, you're right. Here's one of the things about church. The reason why we don't have the experience that those in Bible days, in biblical times, the experience that they had with the church, like the explosion of the church in Acts chapter 2, when they were all with one accord. Peter preached the attitude of the church, 3,000 folk got saved. Guess what? Those 150, I preached this a couple weeks ago. Those 150 that were in the upper room, that was a pretty nice room, by the way, too. That was a nice, whoever house that was, to have 150 people in the upper room, in the upper deck,
Banging
all
crib.
together in one room.
Yeah, that's a
that
banging
was
crib.
a banging crib.
Right.
That was a banging crib. So all 150 were filled with the Holy Spirit. One was filled to preach, Peter. The other 149 were filled to hear.
Wow. Good stuff.
They were all filled.
Right.
So our issue when we come to church is we think that we can come to church any old kind of way. That's why we don't ever get with one accord and have that kind of explosion experience that they had with the Holy Spirit on that particular day, on the day of Pentecost. Because we come to church any old kind of way. We think that because I'm not preaching or because I'm not singing, I don't have to come filled with the Holy Spirit. No, you got to come filled too. What are you doing on the way to church? What are you listening to on the way to church? What did you do last night before you got up to come to church today? You got to come filled. You got to come filled to hear. Yes, I'm on to preach. I got to be filled to preach, but we all have to be filled.
So here's a good principle in time with sports. It's amazing that sports, if there was a preaching of sports, it would be amazing. On my bowling team, I bowl on Monday nights. Practice starts at 6:30 precisely, right? They turn the lanes on. It's called Darian Brister, my boy. We won a championship together bowling at the lanes. He calls it. He says, I had to learn the lingo, the code. He was like, we get lights at 5:55 in one league we were on, and I was like, what you mean? He was like, for practice. So there's this grace period in practice, but then if you miss practice, you play and your game sucks, then the whole team's looking at you like, if you were in practice, we probably would have won. So that's kind of arguable here or there. Then there were some guys that it was like, yo, he really don't need practice, but it helps if he's there. Whether he throws the ball or not, it helps if he's there because we're marinating together, right? But the thing is, when you start, there's an order. There's the first guy, second, third, fourth, and fifth. If you're not there, they got to skip you. You hurting the team. And if you don't get there by fifth frame, you forfeit your score. And the other team has a big advantage. And I'm kind of like, if people learn, it's kind of like think of the Sixers or a sports team or a football team where when you were playing in Miami, what was it, Dan Marino, right? It's like,
yes.
What if Dan didn't show up on time? I mean,
I'd be pissed.
You understand what I'm saying? Or even if you have a backup. Now this will help church people out. Well, somebody else played at Oregon. Well, yeah, you late. So you just threw everybody off that practice with the expectation that we are going to win together. And so when that principle goes down, you have to have the thought of, and I'm looking for church to move in such a direction that everybody feels the I must needs be there.
I must needs be there.
Yeah, so every position matters. So it matters. So I put a post up today that's going to, and I'm kind of switching gears real quick. I put a post up today that's really like controversial. And I said,
you do like poking the bear, don't you?
Listen, I poked the bear today. I said it's amazing that our praise and worship and the band, right, are mostly like free agents in our churches.
Yes.
And I was like, we got to get rid of the Ben Simmons spirits in our church. Everybody
Wow.
was cheering you
Wow.
on. Everybody was
Right.
loving
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
and then, cool. But it's two sides to that. You jack up during the season. You kind of let the ball drop. You get pissed off because everybody's mad with you because we didn't win. And then you like, I don't even want to be here no more. There's a lot of people
Right.
sitting on our
Right.
teams that don't even want to be there. But they there
Right,
for the
right.
ride because we got a new coach and we got this, that, and the third, and we might be able to win. But then when it all don't pan out, everybody get their panties in a bunch, start running. Okay, got you. But we got a lot of that going on. And then we got it's like the draft. Churches are like the draft now. It's kind of like, oh, where's this person at? Where's that person at? Oh, they got drafted over there. They got drafted over there.
They got traded over there.
Yeah, they got traded, and everybody ponying up the money like, oh, we're going to trade out this guy because he sucks. And I'm like,
Right.
when do we get to the place that churches are comprised of people that can? Get what I just said?
No,
They're comprised of people that can. That means
Uh-huh.
that if we and a lot of people will argue this and say it's about the training. Here's my thought though. You don't pick your football team by just going in the neighborhood, grabbing whosoever will, let them come, and then say, I'm going to train them and make a team. There's got to be something in the individual that says, I want to, let's go back to what you said at the beginning. I want to try to be an awesome quarterback. You can't just randomly pick the kid that wants to bowl and try to make him a quarterback if he has no desire to throw a ball. That's how we think things happen in our ministries. Wait 1 second. Don Stevens is on this joint. Okay.
Who?
Donald Stevens.
Uncle Don.
Is this the OG? Is this who I think it is?
OG.
Bro.
That is the Funk Meister.
Is this the
Yes.
long walk OG? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the OG right there.
I got to do an interview on Sunday about neo soul music and the movement in Philly, and we got to talk about some Jill Scott stuff. And one thing I know is the bass was handled on some Jill Scott work by the one and only Don Juan Stevens. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Oh
Yes,
man,
sir.
that's
the man right there.
Oh.
He says as little as possible.
Wait, Richard said ministers are usually tough on musicians. And you know what? I agree, Richard. Listen, no wait. Let me finish this because I'm a musician. Let me take this one.
Go ahead. You sure?
I'm gonna take it. I totally agree.
Go ahead.
But here's something that people do not like to discuss, and I'm a witness of this. Our church was fine and survived for such a long time because the musician was from within. Listen closely. When you got to start drafting, here is my question. When you take the majority of the praise and worship teams, the bands and all, where are you planted is the question. That is a big question because if we're always drafts, churches are becoming draft kings. And the main ingredient that we need for the average pew sitter, they want an experience. So they're expecting, let's just take the totality of it. They're expecting the preacher to bring a word that lifts their soul and challenges them. But they also want some form of, and let me use this word lightly, entertainment towards their spirit. So you got entertainment towards your spirit, and then you have an uplifting word. So you got bread and you got music for the setting. So it's like a little party. You got some music in the atmosphere and you got some bread. Every good restaurant got music in it and they serve food. So if you have that, the problem is that the music is always a hired DJ that can conditionally say, well, I got something better to do because somebody want me to do a party in Miami, so I can't make it. But the restaurant is always expected to serve the food. Listen closely. If the Spotify go down, they still want the food, but at the end of the day, the music always has an option. That should not be because we don't have a one house. Now, the next part of this that everybody gets a little tight with is because they're worried about, well, how I'm going to eat. We're not dealing with money because a man is worthy of his hire. I get that. The preacher, in most cases, get some kind of compensation. Likewise, if it's taking you work and energy and stuff, I don't have no problem paying the musician, the singers and stuff. But the question is, are we outsourcing or are we compensating from the end source? And that there is a big difference, because if not, the church is always on edge and at the mercy of whatever is tempting you to go somewhere else. And this is where the enemy gets in, because the enemy will offer more. The enemy will offer more, and you can always get drafted. That's why musicians, that's why musicians are like some ball players. Now, sports is sports. But once the sports player starts to get doper and you caught enough touchdowns, now you become attractive to other agencies.
Elsewhere.
And when you get attracted to other agencies, and watch how the enemy works, and I'm not calling teams the enemy, but I'm giving an analogy here. They start building up their purse to put it in front of you so you can't deny it.
That's right.
And then what they do is they pull you out. Now, how does that hurt the black culture in the church? We're not building up anyone from within because we're racing to find somebody from outsource rather than to inwardly work and build up. And so our team is never our actual dedicated team. It's always comprised of outsourcing. And here's the monsters that we create. We allow people to be free agents. I'm gonna leave that alone.
The churches won't stand together. They won't unify and create a standard that we all can not just survive but thrive in. And we're allowing the musicians, we're allowing the free agents to run that part of ministry.
But watch this here. This is so awesome. Richard is on it. Music, correct. Music ushers in. Okay, and here this gets controversial, but I get your point. It ushers in, right, the Holy Spirit, and sets the tone. So what we're just talking about is an atmosphere experience, right? If it's that valuable that the church should recognize it, and you are the church, then go on the corner and usher in the Holy Spirit on the corner. Ain't nobody gonna do that. Y'all ain't hearing me.
No.
If it's that valuable outside of I'm me and they're that church, then you should be able to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or go YouTube Live and usher in. No, we need a sanctuary. And then that sanctuary has to be identified by some kind of head. And then it's got to have people in the pews. Because if that be the case, most of our following, they're not following you if you just going to do praise and worship in the park.
That's right.
I'm saying something here. They're not just going to show up and you get 100 people just sitting out in the park because you ushering in. Because I want to be there. If you ushering in and you usher in the Holy Spirit and I'm there, it's like my wife, she loves Brian McKnight. I love Beyonce. If you telling me I'm going to dinner and I can usher in Beyonce, I'm coming to that dinner.
Hello.
But if Beyonce says, I'm not going to your house, I will only go into that concert building, then that's the place I'm looking for her to show up.
That's the place you got to go.
And so now I got to recognize that I need that place as much as I say the place need me. So why aren't we a team?
Right.
I'm just, why aren't we a team if it's that easy? And so the narrative sometimes that we put out is, hey, we're important because we usher in. Okay, yeah, but so in other words, you send the narrative that wherever you singing or playing at, that's where the Holy Ghost goes.
That's where the Holy Spirit is.
And when you leave, they ain't got nothing.
The Holy Spirit.
Listen, God will do some things to shift that narrative, and pandemic is just step number one. Right. So there's warnings that we have missed on our value and placing our value on y'all need to recognize me. No, it goes both ways. And I'm an advocate also for recognize the musician, take care of them, recognize your singers, but also challenge them and tell the truth. You can't be so great on ushering in, but if the preachers say, can you teach Bible study on Wednesday? It's like, oh, I don't do that. Well, what you mean? You study to show thyself approved, and let every man be able to give an account for the hope that's in him, not just through your singing. But listen, when people call me to do interviews and stuff, they know the records I've done, but they're asking me, can you break this down? I can't just say, oh, this, that, or else they going to know, well, you just gifted to do that, but it's nothing else to you. No, I can break down each piece of what I do. I can break down every plugin, every compressor, every chord, every structure of chord. I can break it all down because I know my stuff. And last thing I'm going to say, Irv, is this. Most musicians, they want to be paid according to what they don't actually know.
Oh, of course.
They want to be paid according to a skill that they don't actually have. They don't actually, And if you have all of that, you'll be in a place of teaching. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone.
I've run into several of them. Listen, we've been on for 2 hours, man.
You're right. So is it time for you to go take your shirt off?
It's time. Can you hear the music? Can you hear the music? Can you hear the music?
Hey, Richard, listen, Richard, I was just having fun. Yes. None of that is at you, but you opened the door to discuss it. So yeah. I enjoyed this, Rich. But Irv, I'm gonna give you full screen. It's your show. Talk us out.
No.
No, talk us out. You gotta talk us out.
Listen. Okay, I'm gonna talk us out. Listen, y'all. I'm glad you stayed on. If you're still with us, thanks for being with us today. I'm getting ready to sign off because I'm getting ready to go take my shirt off. Going out on the sun, going on the beach, get in the water. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to be here for a few more days. Listen, we'll get back with you next week on the Friar Place. Shout out to Keith Pelzer. Thank you, little brother, for allowing me to use your studio via Mexico. Shout out to Alicia Way for the dope overlays. Shout out to Vision Audio Visual Lou Rogers. Shout out to all of you who are logging in and commenting today. Thank you for participating. Don't forget. Yes.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Don't forget this podcast was brought to you via Ecamm, virtual software made for Mac that carries your message across the world. We'll see you next week here at the Friar Place.
Not there. Hey, look, hey, Richard, listen closely. Irvin, show your shirt again.
Something wrong with you, man. See, that's why I had Keith on, y'all. I love Keith.
That's why his wife said, "Don't take your shirt off," because he gonna take his shirt off and be like, "Hey, y'all, look at Irvin Fryer."
That ain't what's underneath that shirt. It ain't no bump. My chest sticks out farther than my belly.
Hey, look, when you see them cheetah Speedos come past, it's gonna be like this. Let me get out of here, man. Oh, man, to everybody, thank y'all for joining. Thank you for the like buttons. You got 12 likes on here, man. That's a lot.
You got 12 likes? Okay.
Yes, 12 likes.
Thank you.
All right.
I didn't know to tell everybody or to instruct everybody to do likes, so I appreciate that.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, I'm hitting the out scene, so you're still gonna be on, and I'm gonna be out.
Okay, I'll holler at you, man. I think y'all still see me.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do. I'm right behind. Can they still hear me?
They can still hear you. Yes.
Yeah.
So go ahead and dance with the background. Dance with the background.
No,
go ahead, dance. You gotta do the dance.
I can't do that dance anymore.
Do it. Kick it. You can't do it because you're 59? That's what it is.
Look, I know how to dance on time.
You got a little bit. You got a little bit of that Arthur kicking in. You got Arthur kicking in.
Did you see Serena? I was chasing Serena.
You got Arthur?
She running. Where'd she go? No, Serena running. You see her running? She running away. She don't want I'm out. You gotta push finish. It doesn't finish by itself. You gotta push finish when the music stops. Playing that bass, ain't it?
Yes, sir. Good. Almost sound as good as Don Stevens.
Nah, he don't sound. Nah, he don't sound.
I
good
said
as Dom.
almost. I said almost.
No, not even almost. Not even almost. Don't even do Dom like that. Now you gotta push the finish.
All right.
You gotta push the finish button.
All right.
I'll holler at you.